Hello, 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 everyone, and happy Tuesday. I hope that your morning is off to an amazing start. For those of you all who are new to me, my name is Jasmine Womack. I am a celebrity writing consultant, leadership coach, and expert in the writing and self publishing space. And I work with leaders to help you to transform your $1 million message into a best selling book, high ticket coaching program, and become a sought after speaker. And I wanted to come today to just share with you all some tips on how to show up as the authority in your industry. Okay, I'm going to take a moment to actually type this in on Instagram. You guys give me a moment, okay? How to show up as the authority in your industry. And this is so important. And this is so important because if you caught my live stream yesterday, that still is posted, I shared just some stories about how oftentimes I speak to authors or even just see it come across my feed, authors who have 15, 20, 20 plus years of experience in their, professional arena, or they actually have a full out, you know, some type of credentials, whether it's a college degree, whether it's certifications. They have all of this experience and backing. However, when it comes to writing a book, they're more so, instead of leveraging their expertise, they're more so focused on writing a passion project and doing something or creating something that has quote unquote been a lifelong dream, that honestly nobody really cares about it as much as you do. And so when it comes to establishing authority, elevating your credibility, and writing a best-selling book, I honestly have a totally different perspective and I have a totally different approach to it than most. Okay? Because when I wrote my first book, I wrote it based on years of studying. I so many different conferences and seminars, and actually done the work in my life to transform and change the results that I was getting. I went from being all over the place to living a disciplined life through fasting and establishing routines and really setting up a system for personal success. And it wasn't until the one of the ladies from my church asked, she was like, "How were you able to do all of this?" She, at the time, I had gone through a divorce, I had a newborn, I had entered into a master's program. This was probably about 12 years ago. And in that, within a year or two's time, I lost all the baby weight. I earned my master's degree. I paid off all of my debt. I built up a financial nest egg. And I was attracting different people into my life. And so she was like, "How did you do this?" Because so many people struggle with this. So many people are challenged with this. Like, it's one thing to talk about it, but like literally, what were the steps that you took to actually do it? You should really teach this. And at the time, I was just like, well, I'm a school teacher, I'm this, I'm that. And she was like, "No, but you literally have changed your life. You turned your life around and you created additional options for yourself. And you should teach other people how you did this." And at the time, I didn't realize that she was planting a seed, but she was absolutely planting a seed for what was to become my first book, which was 20 Pearls of Wisdom, A Woman's Guide to Self Preservation. And that was a book for young college age women and young professionals to show you the four key areas in your life to focus on and how to change those areas in order to get better results, right? Because you can have all of the education, you can have all of the upbringing, you can have the career and everything, but it all means nothing if you're depressed and miserable every night. It all means nothing if you, even with all of that, if you are making horrible decisions and you don't actually like the life that you have worked to build, right? And so that's what the impetus of the book was about. And so although at the time my professional backing was in education, I was still leveraging that experience along with my writing skills and my skills as a language arts teacher and as a writing coach in the school to write my first book and to also teach life lessons. That was 12 that was I wrote my first book in 20 I released it in 2016. So that was 8 years ago. So fast forward to now, we're writing books about speaking. You see speaking hacks on the shelf. Okay, you see speaking hacks on the shelf. We're writing books about becoming published and paid, which is the green book behind me, right? The other one, this one. And where I'm working on another book for leadership. I'm compiling my content to release my book, write your book, skyrocket your coaching business, because I've had success speaking. I have been able to not just with myself become published and paid, but help clients to publish books, speeches, courses, coaching programs, curriculum-based workshops, and more, and monetize them. I've been able to do a lot of the different things. I've been able to run my own company. I've been in student leadership since I was 15 years old. So those are all things that I'm still actively doing, in addition to leveraging the professional credentials that I gained when I went to college and got my master's, and how I'm using that in developing curriculum-based programs and teaching others how to develop curriculum as well. And so what the point of me sharing all of that is that I leverage all of that expertise when it comes to writing books, when it comes to speaking, when it comes to training. And so the way that I approach and actually monetizing them and monetizing those streams of income beyond the book. And so what I notice is that many experts, people who have years of experience under their belt, you have years of results, like you've been getting results, you've been helping clients get results, you've been helping your teams get results. But instead of writing a book about writing a book about the things that you know like the back of your hand, then oftentimes what I notice is that people want to lean into their passions and personal stories. And I'm going to be honest, nobody cares about that as much as you do. And it's going to be more difficult to monetize. And so we were on our Impact University. That's the community of my coaching programs. We were on our Impact University coaching call last night. And one of our members who just joined and is going through the process really had two options in which they could go in terms of writing their book. I told them, I said, follow the money. Because you came to me because you joined other programs, they didn't deliver what they promised. But you also say that you want to get paid. And so if you want to get paid, then that means you need to follow the money. That means that you need to write a book based on your expertise, in which there's already an industry, in which you may already be working, in which you already know that there are teams, you already know that there are clients, you already know that there are people who need what you have, because you've already gotten success in it. So why not lean into that instead of instead of leaning into some lofty idea that sounds good and that sounds interesting, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to cut you 4, 5, and 6-figure checks for that. And so when you want to show up as the authority in your industry, there are a few things that you're going to need to do. All right. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is to literally share information related to your industry along with some of your personal experiences. So if you've been to any of my trainings, then you will have heard me say you need to blend story plus strategy. Taking stories, taking occasions, taking an incident, taking a moment from the million and one that you have in your life and the million and one that you have in your arsenal, and talking about that and telling and teaching or sharing the learning lessons that you learned in that can also benefit someone else. All right. So you want, and you want to tie that into information related to what it is you're talking about. So it doesn't need to be all about your story and what you've experienced personally. You also need to share strategies, tactics, and tips. You need to share a little bit about your success process. Okay. And you need to throw a dab of inspiration in there because there's someone that is experiencing what you have already overcome. And so I think that people miss the power of edification and speaking, instead of speaking at someone, speaking life into someone, speaking that level of confidence and letting someone know that they can do it too. And I don't care what level you're at. I have worked with multi-millionaires and they still need, a matter of fact, the more successful you become, quote unquote, you need confident people, or people in your corner who can pour back into you, because the average person can't connect. And as you actually begin growing your business and moving towards and making progress, a lot of you all may have already experienced this. Like the people that you used to be able to talk to about certain things, you just may not be able to talk to them about the things that you're doing because they can't connect, they can't relate. Okay. So you want to share information related to your industry along with personal experiences, and you want to educate your audience through your content. You want to educate your audience through your content. When you want to show up as the authority in your industry, you also must be very mindful of how you are speaking to your readers, to your audience, and in your content. This means that you need to make sure that you are using power words and vocabulary. You don't want to use what I call struggle language, because that is going to attract the people who are struggling. And typically, folks who have a struggling mindset also do not have a success mindset, because salt water and fresh water can't live together. So you want to speak to the people who have the success mindset, the people that identify that there's a problem or a challenge, and they also understand and acknowledge that they want to fix it, and they're willing to learn and do whatever it's going to take to fix this challenge. When you start using struggle language, what I call broke language, then you start talking to the people who love to talk about their problems, but they're not necessarily willing to do anything to fix it. Okay. You have to lean into your language and the words that you use. Okay. This means that you want to be mindful to speak to the desired outcomes of your readers and potential clients instead of only speaking to the challenges. You don't want to speak in your content always talking to them about where they are right now, what they're stuck in, what they're struggling with. No, cast the vision. Help them to see what's beyond. Help them to see what's on the other side, waiting for them as they continue to pursue forward, as they continue to move forward and progress forward. Okay. And number three, when you want to show up as the authority in your industry, you are going to need to elevate your branding and enhance your image. This means that if you want people to take you seriously as the authority, as a top expert, or a knowledgeable person on your topic, you cannot just show up acting any kind of way. You can't show up posting just any type of content, and you cannot show up looking any kind of way either. You might get a little bit of success, but you're going to find that your growth is going to be stalled. A strong brand as an authority where people know you for solving a specific problem is going to set you above the person that is trying to be a jack of all trades. It's going to set you above the person who is not clear on what they're doing or what they're writing on or about. So you need to be very clear with your message. And yes, your image, the videos that you put out, how your appearance. I'm not saying that you need to be dressed from head to toe and designer or anything like that, but you need to be polished, because when people want to work with an expert, they want to work with someone who is at their level or better. Actually, slightly better, because if you're an expert, you should be slightly better than me. Okay? So this means that you're going to need to not just clean up your image, but also you need to maybe clean up the language that you use and make sure that you are presenting in a professional manner. If you feel a little bit uncomfortable with going to a stage to speak or speaking in front of the camera, practice. With the best speakers, practice. Okay? And also you need to leverage social proof and testimonials. Leverage social proof and testimonials. And if you don't have testimonials yet, you are your testimonial. You have to talk about the then and the now. You have to talk about where you were when you started and where you are now and things that you've done to make it through. Okay? These are some of the strategies that you can use and implement to actually show up as the authority in your industry. All right. And so if you want to go deeper into this, I want to invite you to join me. We start on Monday in my upcoming workshop, Elevate Your Authority with a Best-Selling Book. And we're going to be going deeper into creating your celebrity image. We're going to be going deeper into rapid speed writing strategies, profitable publishing options, and more. Okay. So you want to make sure that you visit www.jasminewomack.com/elevate to secure your spot. We are going to be limiting the number of participants in this workshop. It's absolutely free, but because it's free and because it's new and because we've been told that our workshops, our free workshops have been so much more valuable than some people have paid in courses. We're limiting the number of people who can attend because we want to work with the best of the best, the people who are going to register and actually show up. So you can go to jasminewomack.com/authority to secure your spot. And I will see you there. We kick it off on Monday. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a private message.